under the influence. Fill up your cup, y'all. The thirst is real.
Fill up your cup, bruh. The thirst is real.
Yes, it is definitely going down. It's that time, man. Friday night, under the influence, man. We are in the building, man.
Yes, sir.
We are definitely in the building.
Live and in the building, sir. We even started off with that exclusive.
Yeah, man. You know,
that
has blessed us, man. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's only right.
Yeah.
It's only right.
That Jared Sanders,
That
son.
old
He spit
Jared
an
Sanders.
exclusive on the show for us. I mean, we talked about it a little earlier before the show. We said, well, it might not be the first time he spit it, or on the first show. This might not be the only show he spit it on.
Right.
This the first time he spit it on our show.
Influence.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, sir. He showed us some love. But
That's right.
Man, it feels good to be back in the building. Koolaid and Carrillo.
Not quite a payday, but it's all good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, we both in that same boat. I get paid every other week too, and mine is not till next week. But sheesh, we done brought a sister in on the show with us.
That's right.
What's up?
That's
What's up?
right.
We go call her DW.
DW.
In the house.
Melanie
You know what I'm saying?
definitely in the building, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Excited.
For sure.
Femininity. Did I say that right?
Yeah, we definitely need
a
a feminine perspective on the show.
Yeah, man, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? They getting all this macho and testosterone on every opinion and on every subject.
All this Kool-Aid.
And no sugar. That's it. DW is in the house.
I like that. And no sugar.
With no sugar. For real. So anyway though, hey, what you had on that set right there? I know at the end you had
I started with that exclusive, bars, quick bars, Jared
big
Sanders.
shout out to the boy Jared Sanders. If you ain't got it, get it.
Go get it. And came right behind that with that Jared Sanders, some more Jared Sanders, Hero. That's off that Daylight Savings album.
Yeah.
Right behind that, I did come with Lord Have Mercy, Triply.
Okay.
Kept it within the Reach record camp with Whatever Comes with Andy Mineo, and then finalized it with All In, Alex Faith, Trey Murray.
Okay.
I'm feeling on my Alex Faith just now, so I got the beat playing in the background, man. It's one of the hardest beats right there that I like right there.
We definitely need to get him in the building.
We do.
Yeah. We gotta catch him next time he come in town. But shoes, before we go any further though, Mel.
Yeah.
I mean, what's happening with you? We normally start off with Koolaid and Carrillo. We'll talk about how our week has been. But since you new and fresh on the show, we'll let you tell the Facebook audience. And did we even give a shout out to the Facebook audience? I mean, because it's live and popping, sir. It's
What's going on, Facebook?
yeah, and it's live and popping even more than normal at the beginning of the show. So I'm feeling like extra good right now. But shoot, since we got an audience, Mel, why don't you tell them a little bit why you said, where you from, Mel?
I'm from Jacksonville.
I'm sorry, where you from? DW? That's your name. I'm messing up already.
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Here for about 3.5 years now.
Okay. And matter of fact, so if on the drop, if you guys know the drops, when you hear someone come through and say, "Dude," that's it. That's what I'm talking about.
That's it right there.
Dude. Okay. So, how'd you come to Atlanta?
I just really was just tired of Jacksonville. It's a big city, but there's not a lot going on. And I was just tired of being cooped up down there. So I was like, I know somebody who lives in Atlanta, so let me just go, get away, spread my wings, and
Yeah.
that's what I did.
That sounds like a little bit why we left it. That sound a little bit why we left it. That sound a little bit why we left Louisiana. Yeah. So
Feel boxed in sometimes.
yeah. If you can do me a favor and pull the mic just a little bit closer to you. Yep. So the people can hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me better?
There you go.
Oh yeah,
there
that's
you
it
go.
right there.
Yeah. So hip hop, Christian hip hop. Who do you like? Is anybody you know or like got there?
So when I first became a Christian, I was like hardcore on Lecrae,
Mm-hmm.
the Rehab album. I love that album.
Okay.
And then I kind of got into Andy Mineo a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but that's probably the extent of my knowledge of. Oh, I like Alex Faith.
And you like Alex
Yes,
Faith?
his newest album is wonderful.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see if we can get Carrillo to mix in some of that rehab. I can actually go for some rehab for real. I need some rehab myself. We'll talk about that later in the Devo. But we got a hot show lined up for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. We got we talking dating. We talking dating in the church. We're talking about how the brothers could approach these women why they might be afraid to approach. You know, a lot of women say that if they feel like the guys are scared to approach. We're gonna get into that. In the interview I did earlier this week with BJ Thompson, we got the playlist of Played Yourself. We got a hot show, but shoot, to start off, we're gonna jump in the top of this news. And at the top of the news, we got Reach Records has signed Aha Gazelle as the newest member of the team. It's been the latest signing since Andy Mineo. In an interview that he recently did, he said that he chose them, even though he had been approached by other labels, and that he was surprised by the label wanting him because some of the things that he had said in some of his previous work, to which Ben and Lecrae said they were okay with. So I thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah,
and
it was kind of. I heard the.
You went and listened to the interview?
Yeah. It was actually, you know, and I read a lot of the comments, you know, and a lot of people didn't know who Aha was, and I might have fell victim to that. I heard him on a couple tracks, you know, but I didn't think much of it. But him signing the Reaches, I think it's a good look. It's different. It's a curveball, as I seen somebody else say in a comment. So I mean, I can agree with that. It's a curveball. I
kind of went back and listened to some of the music, but I could see where it would make sense. People said people had some questions, and it raised some ears. And even with him, like I said, he said he was surprised that they weren't going to try to change him. Right. And make him change his music and some of the things that he was saying. So I went back and listened, but I didn't hear nothing. So I didn't hear nothing that seemed suspect. But
he kind of scared me when he was like he want to work with Kanye and a lot of secular cats. Yeah, that kind of scared me a little bit. But you know, it is what it is. For sure. Well, she was moving right along. We got John Wells. Who has recently, and John Wells is of the former group Cross Movement. It's like one of the forefathers in Christian hip hop. Not the first, definitely, because there were plenty others before them, but they were the first to do it big and probably get like more nationwide listenership and notoriety. But he has lately termed himself as Uncle Johnny and written an open letter to hip hop. You know, and I'm kind of confused by what the letter is saying, because he just openly saying, "Hey, I've been out the game for a minute, but I feel like I got some things that I need to say, and we need to really find somebody that can speak across the board to all people in Christian hip hop, and we need this guy to have this kind of character, and he needs to have been in the game for a minute." So what he does after that is kind of describes himself. And then says, this is the beginning. This is just me reaching out. You know, in the next following, I guess, letters that he's going to do is going to be more like a conversation. So that whole thing right there, to me personally, was just a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Right. Big respect to the homie, because he definitely put out some good stuff back in the day that had me encouraged. It just seemed strange and out of the blue, you know, that he just pop up and then almost say like, I'm Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? Let's follow me. Anyway, shoot. But moving right along, the last thing we got, Lecrae is back in the news for receiving some flack for a track that he done on the soundtrack for the movie The Shack. And so, if anybody knows what The Shack is, it's a book where a man has a dream and he meets God, and God kind of comforts him concerning the death of one of his loved ones. And it kind of conveys, I guess, from what I've heard, that God is a woman. And then there's definitely as other things that they say, like that he says, I'm sorry, let me look at my notes. I'm tripping because I didn't look like that this God has sent his son to save everybody, and that there's no punishment for sin as well as for other things. And so Lecrae was getting flack because he did a song for the soundtrack to the movie. So that was a little weird, you know. I mean, it was a little weird, but hey, you know, it ain't like Lecrae ain't been doing weird stuff lately. I mean, you know, that really getting attention. He's doing unorthodox stuff, and a lot of people was like, yeah. We could go on for a minute, but
yeah, but we got some other news pieces,
so the movie's about God being a female?
No, the movie is not about God being a female, but God comes to the guy in a dream, and he's a female and then I think he's two other people. He's a black. So God comes to him. It's an African American female, and then the Holy Spirit is like Asian, and then Jesus is like somebody else. So it's three different people, but looking three different ways, and then it just seems really weird. But anyway, but it's a book though. I mean, it's a book. It's a fiction book. So that's really what kind of takes away from it to make it not seem as bad, because at the end of the day, it's not the Bible. It's a book. Right. But then Lecrae would be on it. I don't know. But anyway, it's news.
I don't see where that could be flack, but okay.
We just reporting, and I ain't got much time left. So the last thing is, Belief of the Breaks says that he says that he's doing his last album.
What's up?
Yeah, he's doing his last album.
Hit us up, man. Let us know what's going on, man.
He definitely need to hit us up. We need to have him on the show. But Belief is doing his last album, and he says he's going to focus more on being home, and that he doesn't want to make travel anymore. He doesn't want to travel anymore. He said his last album is going to help him get a vehicle that's big enough for a third car seat. And then he said he'll still do music when inspired, but he'll just post them as singles on a site called Patreon. He said he'll still be doing the YouTube channel, which is called Belief in Fatherhood. Yep. And so that's that. And he said he already has a single out, and we need to get that on the show. So we try to play that later on. No Chill. Yeah, I like that. A guy tagged me last week in the song No Chill and said it was it reminded him of me. I don't know why, just the music video.
It's just I can see how somebody would say that. Bald heads, beards.
Yeah.
Silly. Yeah.
So that's news though, homie.
That if you haven't checked out that Belief in Fatherhood, that's a dope little series he got going on, man. I've been checking it out since he started. So
I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It was dope.
Creative, man.
But shoes, without further ado, we want to give another shout out to the Facebook fam.
Facebook, what's happening?
What's happening? We glad y'all in the building. I'm trying to see. I need to call out these names. Miss Elise is in there. Cass Bino. What's up, Jerome? Cousin John is in the building. Randolph, Jeremy, Janelle, Shannon, Anthony, Donald, DW. That's DW1. That's the homie is in the building. Mandrell, Shakita, Emily, Sven. Everybody, appreciate you for coming through. Get your request in if it's something that you want to hear. We definitely be glad to play it. We got much more left. The Carrillo's going to jump in the mix. When we come out of the mix, we're going to start with part of the conversation we had last week with BJ Thompson. Don't forget, you're under the influence. Koolaid and Carrillo. D-Dubs in the house. Keep it locked.
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, yo. The thirst is real.
Yo, it's your boy Mouthpiece, and you're rocking with Under the Influence with my homie Koolaid and Carrillo. Come fill up your cup, yo, because the thirst is real.
Yo, this is Melanie, and you under the influence of Kid Koolaid and Carrillo.
And just like that, your boy is right back, like I left my cell phone on the couch.
So what was that beat that just dropped at the end?
Oh, I know that song from somewhere. The last joint was that Bananas. That was that Uncle Reese. It was one of his latest joints. I wonder if he's coming out with a project. I mean, the way he dropped that and just kind of backed off a little bit.
And it was Bananas.
Yeah, and it was Bananas. It does go a little hard. But I did start with that Killer. You said you want to hear that Rehab, so I figured that Killer. Bring it back.
So what's your favorite joint off of that album? Off topic.
Shoot,
you don't
really think.
Yeah, well, if you think about it sometime during the show.
The title.
Okay, go ahead. Do you think what else played?
I came right behind that with that Bizzle Ride Out. Then that Mike Real, The Immortals. Then I felt like hearing some Spec, that Buckingham Palace. Getting it in, man. And still in the same kind of momentum, man. I kept that ooh-wop with that RPS and G. It's that Black Knight and his team.
Okay.
Favorite joint? What's your favorite joint?
God Is Enough on that album.
Okay, that's God Is Enough.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that joint is hard.
Okay. Well, shoes. Just like we promised y'all, with this episode is about cuffing season. I mean, we know that Valentine's Day is coming up closer, so we really kind of want to reach out to those, who may be feeling a little lonely and let them know, hey, it's okay. It's okay. There's hope, and we have come to offer that hope. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't do it in the church, but we're saying, hey, there's somebody out there for you, and you can find him. We want to help. So we brought the homie BJ in. And he talks a little bit about relationships. Right now, he's going to talk about what are some of the issues that we as men, as single men, may deal with finding love or approaching the single ladies in the church. So stay with us. This is your boy BJ jumping in right now. This is a post interview. I think is that post or pre? That's post interview.
Post interview
with BJ Thompson. Dating in the church. So that's kind of actually some of the things I wanted to deal with.
And why you want to get me in trouble so early on? Go.
Hey man, somebody got to talk about this stuff that ain't nobody talking about.
Yeah.
So what? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to ask it or a way to even get into it.
Yeah.
And that's just. Let me just start off like this. A lot of women say, and I need a woman really. So after that, we interview you. Hopefully, we can find a woman that's capable to talk about the subject as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of women say that guys are afraid to approach in church. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like the overall number one topic when you discuss with a woman. Why you still single? They're gonna say because the men are scared.
Yeah.
What I mean, so what's up? What do you think about that? What do you think? Is that something that you see? And what do you come across as a counselor if you ever counsel anyone pre-marriage?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So what I believe you're asking me is, women feel a sense of they feel like guys are avoiding them, specifically in a faith context where there's a community of people. They don't feel like they get approached. They don't feel like they get intentional attention in that area. I think this, man, I grew up going to the club, being involved in the larger society, and I remember seeing this whole thing of, there's a ton of guys huddled around in this culture, and I'm not saying there weren't a ton of ladies, but it was more like male kind of driven and male centered. And then when I came to faith, I got involved in this thing called the church.
Ooh,
and I looked up
and
I realized, like, wait, this is female centered. There's many more ladies involved in this. And so I think part of it is, man, there's just such an abundance of women involved in these faith communities.
Right.
And there's so little guys that are consistent, that are visible, and even present. And so I think part of it is it's just disproportionate numbers, right? But then the other thing is, we as men, oftentimes we don't have great role models, and so we either try to carry on the same habits that we used to have, but minus the things that we think we shouldn't do. The perfect example would be you think, man, I'm going to date and pursue a woman the way I'm going to date and pursue a woman in the way that I've always done it, but void of what I believe the boundaries are in this thing. Maybe that's just no physical intimacy, sexual contact in certain ways, but everything else just kind of stays. And so part of it is we need a healthier experience of what it looks like in real time to love and to pursue and to model. And so, yeah, I think part of the reason for that is, as men, one, we're outnumbered. Two, we don't really know what it looks like. And so you find a lot of men paralyzed by it. And the third thing I believe is the reason why men are not as consistent in pursuing single women within this, this institution or these small communities, is they have option overload.
Option overload.
They don't have to choose. I mean, like there was a point in time where brother was, he was a 4. Right? Outside of this context. But you get in this scarce environment. What do they call it? Supply and demand and supply?
Yes, but the supply is high.
Yeah, it's like the demand is high, but the supply is low. Right. And I've seen brothers, bless their heart. They're 4, but they can meet and pursue a woman that's a 10. And so you just find like this option overload for a lot of single guys where they don't really know what to choose because for the first time they have a lot of options. So,
now that option 3, I never thought about, but I know that it exists.
Yes.
Because whenever I was young, that was the problem. Because I found myself, I grew up in a large church. It was like 1,000 people. The youth group itself probably was like I think close to like 50 to 100 strong, but it would be so many, and then I don't know what to say.
Absolutely, because
after a certain number, your confidence is like, man, nah, because she looks too good. I don't even know what to say.
Not qualified. Yeah.
Right. And so, So then, what do you say to that? I mean, so you said one was over womanized. I definitely see that in the church.
Yeah,
is more women,
absolutely,
and they're in leadership roles, or they're so close to it, and they know so much. They're driven to pursue the Lord, and it's like they're. I was reading in a book yesterday, and it said, I can't remember exactly how it said it, but as far as pursuing the Lord and drawing closer, and always with their minds attended to Him and what's right. Women are.
Yeah.
Men
absolutely
are not as driven for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you said the other one was they don't know how.
Absolutely.
But this third thing, I think, can you touch on that for the brothers then? I mean, because if you don't know how, the second part you said you don't know how a relationship is supposed to look like in the church, and there's actually a part we can deal with on that too. So let's back up. Yeah. Let's say first the not knowing how. What role do you think the church plays, and do you ever see it?
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, y'all. The thirst is real.
Yo. So we back. That was the homie BJ.
Yeah. It's getting kind of juicy.
Really?
It's getting kind of juicy.
Okay. Well, shoot. Since we got D-Dub in the house, DW. How you felt about what he had to say right now?
So there are a lot of thoughts going through my mind. I definitely understand what he means by maybe there's a lack of role models or people you can go to, because you definitely don't want to just ask out every girl that you think is attractive. You want to maybe have some men in the church hey, I'm thinking about pursuing such and such and such, and maybe allow them to lead you in certain areas. But when he said woman overload, I'm like, is that a problem for any other guy? Yes, right. So, I don't know, but
so okay, hold on. So you said that you think it's wrong for him to ask out all of them?
I don't think it's wise for him to ask out all of them, but
if one turn him down, then I go to two, and then if two turn him down, then go to the third one.
But
you keep it moving.
He has to have patience too, because after a while, being in ministry with these women and being around them, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know about that. She a little loud, or I don't know about this one because she may gossip. So that can weed that out anyway if you just be patient. Just fellowship with them. Just hang around them.
That's nice. Nice thought. Nice thought on that.
Okay.
The way she worded that.
Yeah. So what else? What else? You had any other thoughts about anything he said? So he said the option overload was it, but you said you don't see how that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I don't. And then another thing was he was like, oh, a guy that's a 4 can talk to a 10. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And no offense to BJ, but I think that's a problem too. Also, for men, they have this oh, my girl needs to be like a Beyonce, or she needs to dress this type of way or that type of way. When really, all you should of course, if you want to pursue someone, she has to look decent. You want to be attracted to her, but don't let the outward appearance be solely what you're looking at. And I think that's a problem for what I've been hearing, amongst a few churches, and amongst guys. They're like, oh man, she doesn't dress this way, or she doesn't look this type of way. And I'm like, man, she loves the Lord. What you talking about? She's gonna cook and clean and pray for you and encourage you. And I'm like, nah, bruh.
That's the real. That's the new cool right there.
So his standard's too high. If you a 4, you need to drop that down.
Man, come on.
Trying to get with a 5 or something.
So you saying they need to stick to the rivers and the lakes that they used to?
Right.
Golly. See, so that's what BJ is saying. The problem is though that they come in the option overload, and now you can get a 10. What's wrong with that? If you could get a 10, get a 10.
But why does it have to be on a numbers basis? Why can't she just?
It don't have to be based on looks. So a 10 could still be somebody could be like the virtuous woman. So I think
okay.
It's supposed to be, but
the total package.
Melody saying, I agree. So most men be like, y'all need that dom. Right. She's got to be a dom, B.
Right. So it's but I think though,
is that all looks?
No.
The 80-20 rule, bro.
Right.
90%.
Oh man. Okay. So I don't think, and so in the church, I think looks got something to do. In the world, because this is the planet Earth. Yeah, so in the planet Earth, looks do have something to do with it. But I think when you move to the church, it's you need to be looking for more than just. There's more that women have to offer in the church than just looks. I mean, you can say what you want, but that's probably the main things, you know. I mean, because if you physically go to the church to find a woman, you're saying already you got an idea more so of what you want inwardly, and so that could still make her a 10. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're balancing between looks and character, the way she carries herself. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's all plays a factor. But anyway, I'm right now, I'm really just speaking from Koolaid's perspective because I'm putting words in BJ's mouth that he might not even meant to say.
Right.
Shoes. I don't know what else? What else? And was somebody say anything on Facebook? Okay, Denise? Janelle said something? Let's see. Let me see. I'm sorry. Was there something else? Go ahead.
Janelle Banks said men and a vision at least. That is what my hubby says. Oh, men are visual at least. That's what my husband says.
That's true.
Janelle, I can agree.
Yeah,
I can agree.
Yeah, no doubt. Men are definitely visual.
I mean, because the first thing we look at is appearance. So I definitely agree that what's it called? First appearance is the best appearance, or kind of that's also falling in the category of judgment. But I mean, judging. But at the same time, yeah, she's right. I agree. Men are visual. I think women are too, though.
Yeah. Listen, if women wasn't visual, women wasn't visual, I'll be eating what I want right now, and out here and not running and not going to the gym. I had a post that I posted this morning, and I was saying to myself, I was thinking, why can't men be thick and look good? You know what I'm saying? Because of women, guys are always saying, "Oh man, I want her to be thick or whatever." But why can't men be thick? Why can't I just eat what I want and be thick and still look good? Oh, so I could just good. Well, then there you go. Well, that cancels the six apocalypse. That cancels all the running and the eating. You know what I'm saying? Bring the pizza and the ice cream. But shoes. Yeah. Was it anything else that he said? Anything else you want to touch on? And then we're gonna jump right back into the music.
I was gonna say too, something that came into my mind when he said something along the lines of having a healthy experience. Like you don't have a healthy experience with women, so you don't really know how to approach them. You know, especially if you come from like this worldly type of life that most of us have come from. You're not quite sure how to approach and have those type of boundaries, like he was saying in that last interview. So I struggled with that too, and also my husband. I mean, in a sense of like certain fears and insecurities and things like that. Like sometimes you want to, in your own mind, figure that stuff out before you try to jump into a relationship.
Okay. Well, shoes. Nah, no doubt. That's why we brought you on, D-Dub. We brought you on, and if the people will pick up on you and you like it, we definitely be glad to keep you on for more episodes and do more talks. But
yeah, for sure.
You're under the influence with Koolaid and Carrillo. Keep it locked. We still got more of the show to go. We still got another snippet of that interview with BJ, which I want to take the time to plug. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Yes, Under the Influence does have a YouTube channel now at Under the Influence Radio. From now on, when you hear an interview, we are going to chop that mug up and tear it apart and put it back together and put it up on YouTube, because we know a lot of you out there just want to hear talking. Y'all are just all about the talking, so we're going to try to get that to y'all. So that full interview with BJ Thompson can be found on our YouTube channel at Under the Influence Radio. We got much more, like I said, more with BJ. We got Playlist or Play Yourself coming out of this music. We're going to jump right into the Devo, because we moved the Devo up now. We got a lot of things going on the 30th episode. I feel like we need a birthday cake, son. You feel me? But hey, you guys keep it locked. Big shout out to the Facebook fam. Thanks for showing up. We're going to get into y'all comments, and we're going to respond on some of those and air some of them as we can. Get your requests in. You're Under the Influence. Koolaid and Carrillo.
Under the Influence. Fill up your cup, y'all. The thirst is real.
Koolaid and Carrillo. Hey, man, who that kid Carrillo, man? I don't know that dude.
What you said?
That dude, Carrillo, man. I don't rock with that dude.
Man, you better stop. Why that mixes is crazy, son. What you had in there?
Yeah, it started with that SO. Wait, we was talking about dating, so I figure, I put some encouragement out there to my single people out there. Wait on the Lord. That's that SO. Came right behind that with that Jordan Armstrong. You should know. And put him up right behind that with that Kent Jones. Kept it in the groove with that 30 and up.
Shovel Rock. Shovel Rock gonna have me grooving right there.
Yeah, man, you know. Shovel Rock brought us one on that one, man.
I'm always ready to two-step, and that joint always got me in a two-step and kind of
thing.
Yeah.
Young cats need to back off the women for 2 feet and just two steps.
Give them some space.
Yeah, give them some space and just 2 steps.
There you go. Yeah. It's all right if you want to come off the wall. You know what I'm saying? I know gangsters don't dance the boogie, but
I do.
Okay, I didn't know you was a gangster.
Oh, yeah. You did say gangster. I ain't no gangster.
Yeah. Nah, so
then I finished out with that Work It Out. Try to.
You was liking that, huh, D-Dub?
That was great.
Yeah, that joint right there. Yeah, he got him a hit on that one.
Note to self.
Okay, so shoes. We got something a little different. We gonna do this time. Normally we wait to the end of the show to do the Devo, but we gonna get it in early this time, and it is coming out of John 11, verse 1 through 4, and I'm just read it. It says, "Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." And so, I don't really have enough time to read the whole story, but then we know that Jesus goes and he raises up Lazarus from the dead. The part we wanted to focus on, I just wanted to talk about, is that sometimes in our life we feel like God is letting bad happen to us. And when you think about this case with Lazarus dying, it's several verses actually, and let me just go ahead and read another verse in that chapter, verse 14, where he's talking to the disciples. He said, Jesus said to them plainly, he said, Lazarus has died, and for your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe, but let us go to him. So sometimes the Lord allows us to go through hardships, and that's the kind of thing that I'm finding out lately, that he allows pain to come into our lives so that we can believe. And not just so that we can believe, but so that God can be glorified.
Yes.
In the midst of that thing. And so when we want to escape it, or we want to get out of it, we want relief, we forget that in those things that God is working something out of us in that. And so what he's kind of teaching me to learn how to do in the last couple of weeks is to realize that the struggle is like a gym. You know what I'm saying? You're in there and you're dying to certain things. You're dying in the gym, you're dying to fat. You know what I'm saying? You're sweating it out. You're getting it out of your body. When you die, it's the same way. You're dying to some things, but you're getting stronger in others. It's another part where Jesus says in the very next chapter, when he's talking about losing your life. And I wanted to talk about that one too. And then that's John 12, verse 24 through 26. And it says, I'm trying to find it. Okay, I'm sorry. It says, it's Jesus talking, and he says, Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. If anyone serves me, he must follow me, and where I am, there will my servant be. Also, if anyone serves me, the Father will honor him. And again, he's saying that you have to die. He said, well, right there, he's making a prophecy of his own death, because he says, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and die, it doesn't bear fruit. But in the same token, if we follow Jesus, then we too, like the disciples, mistaken him when he was going to meet Lazarus, they said, let's go with Jesus that we may die too. But truthfully, if we follow Jesus, it's going to lead us to death. It's going to lead us because we're going to die to some things.
Right, of course.
Some things are, some things may not feel good. There's going to be some things that we may not agree to or like. But it is for eternal life and for God to get glory. Because we just heard him say just now in John chapter 12, he says, whosoever loves his life loses it. And whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. So we have to get to the point to where we're not loving our lives enough to want to hold on to it. The pain comes, in my opinion, because we love it so much. We love this life. We love these comforts, and we don't want to let them go. But they have to die so that we can bear fruit for God, so that he can be glorified, and so that we gain eternal life. He says, it's crazy because first he says, if you love your life, you lose it. And then he says, if you hate your life in this world, that you'll keep it for eternal life. So
those who have ears understand what he meant by that. When you word it that way, you kind of break it down. Yeah, it does sound a little contradictory, but understanding what he meant by losing your life, dying the flesh. He said on the desires of this world, killing that flesh portion of it, that's losing that life. So yeah, I honestly got caught up in that when I transitioned over. It kind of didn't make any sense to me, but I get it now. So
D-Dub, you was about to say something?
Well, it just made me think of another verse in John chapter 9. When Jesus healed the blind man from birth, and it's a little different, but his disciples were saying, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Jesus said, it was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him.
Yep.
Yes.
So many people we're not blind, but we have to. This man was blind his whole life just to get to that one point where God was glorified. Yeah. And so we may have to go through some things, like you said, we have to hate our life. You know what I mean? To the extent that, we may have to die, but it's for God's glory in the end. And I think that's where a lot of people lose focus. This man was born blind. He was blind all his life. Yeah. For that one moment where God could be, glorified in that one instance. Yeah,
no doubt.
The ultimate glorification. Yeah. The ultimate is really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep. We don't like it. It's definitely painful, and that's something I actually wanted to touch on last week that I didn't say, and that was that whole gym portion. Is that when we're in this struggle in this life, we got to remember that it's for a reason. That we're not just struggling for anything, for nothing. And I struggle with being patient in the struggle because it don't feel good, and so I'm looking for a comfort and stuff, and I want to find some kind of relief, but I got to remember that that's what it's for, is to work out fruit. It's to help me to be a better Christian, help me to bear more fruit, be able to love in tough times, to be able to keep his word and do what's right in tough times, and God will allow us to go through those hard places to work that out, just like he let that man be born blind for his whole life, just so at the end he could be free, he could be healed, and God could get glory. At the end of the day, if we can set our attentions to God getting his glory, I think it'll help us a lot in those situations. But yeah, shoes, that's that. That's that. Carrillo's about to jump back into the mix. You know what I'm saying? You're under the influence with Koolaid and Carrillo. Carrillo's about to jump back into the mix, and we're going to come back and we're going to hear part 2 of the interview on the show. Well, a second part to the interview of the show where we talked to BJ about dealing with the 4s being in 10s. Just an overload. Yeah. But we talk about being in a place where there's an overload of women, and then after that we're gonna take calls. So you guys, get ready. We'll let you guys call in and say your piece.
Say a piece.
But right now you're under the influence.
Feel free to share. Right now, everybody get out their phones. Share it to your share the video to your
Facebook
your page, your feed.
like it,
follow, and all of that.
Yeah.
All of that.
You under the influence with Koolaid and Carrillo. Keep it locked.
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, yo. The thirst is real. Koolaid and
Carrillo. Look what hot out here.
This dude is screaming. That's what it do, though.
Yeah. My bad. Shoot, hey.
It's all good. You know, I came with that flame. Move forward. That joint right there is still a banger. Then I mixed up that beacon light haters. I love the haters.
Okay.
And I came with that hard Dayton featuring SOS.
D-Dub was loving that Dayton.
Dayton giant. He
That's
got
off of
bars.
that album Raw. He definitely got bars. That's from the Got Over Money camp. Got Over Money.
Came behind that with that Bulletproof, Flame, and Mike Real. Finished out with that Masterpiece, Jerry Sanders.
Dope.
Nice little mix right there. I might have to go home and record that.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we do over here under the influence. But shoes, we back. You are back under the influence as we promised. We got the part 2 of the snippets of interviews that I've taken from the main interview with the homie BJ Thompson done last weekend. Again, you can get that at YouTube. Our channel is Under the Influence Radio, where we'll have the whole interview, but right now we're going to jump into a little snippet of that, and we're going to get back into this discussion. So just remember, you're under the influence. Koolaid and Carrillo.
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, yo. The thirst is real. Koolaid and Carrillo.
In some.
You mean like
Fill up your cup, bro.
Yeah, shoes. Come on, some of them. The third thing you said we want to address, and that because there's tens everywhere. Now my confidence is a shot, and so I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
What do you tell brothers then that find themselves
what to say
in some?
You mean like one line pickup line? Like
with shoes. I mean, come on, some of them. So brothers can use that, and is that wrong though?
Yeah.
And then that's actually another question. After that, we're going to talk about should you be testing the waters and in different relationships. Should you be dating one girl, out with one girl tomorrow, out with another girl the next week? And we're going to talk about that too, so go ahead.
Yeah, so the question is...
Tens everywhere.
How do you deal with it? You got to choose one. I think the problem is we think we have a ton of options. I mean, like, again, there's nothing wrong with you getting to know folk. And, the basis of all relationships is a friendship, right? And so... I would even say this: if you're unable to have healthy friendships, you're gonna struggle to have a healthy relationship, right? And so the first thing is, can you just be friends with the opposite sex? If you can't, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of situationships, right? With a lot of folk that you should have never really been around, or you should have never been engaging in that certain way. And so, what I would say, if it's tens everywhere, man, can you just be a good friend, right? And learn how to have platonic relationships where you're not trying to get at everybody that you see. So that's the first thing I would say. Second thing I would just say is, man, are you okay with? Is your standard for pursuing? Is it a healthy standard?
What's a healthy standard?
Like your list, whatever your list is. Like she got to be this tall, she got to look like this, she got to have this background.
Is that okay? Because the woman got that list, and that list
I don't know
is
if they
bigger
have
than the mug.
Yeah, they do, but I don't know if they really believe in it. I think women have that list, but they'll quickly let it go when they feel like I'm loved, I'm accepted. I've seen a lot of women let those things go. So what I would say is, I think the list. There's nothing wrong with having a healthy list. The problem is most of the time our lists never come under scrutiny. So we really don't know. Is this something I should be able to bend on, or is this a non-negotiable, right? And so so I would just say the other way that one of the other ways that a man is able to pursue in the sea of different options is, man, he has to learn. Man, this is really just, these are the non-negotiables, and I need to hold these with a loose hand. Right.
This is things that I would like, as opposed to this is things that I need.
Absolutely. And let me get one last thing, and I want to hear the next question.
Yeah.
You need to figure out how the progression of the relationship, where it starts with a friendship. Do you see any friendship moving towards romantic connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Yeah, you have a tons of friendships and you're learning how to be a healthy friend, but there may be in that friendship circle where you go, man, I feel like we have a more romantic connection. And that's where you want to start, investigating, asking questions. Man, do you have a chemical imbalance? I think we need to start asking that, or even like looking for that, right?
No, you're right.
And I'm not saying
you're right, because that points to a thing later on when you get into marriage. Then you realize, dang, something was wrong.
Absolutely,
I should have seen that.
And that's not a deal breaker. But you need to be able to say, man, I'm willing to take on that,
right? Because that's what's going to cost, and you don't even know it.
Yeah. So the last thing I would say is, as you learn to move through this friendship, and you start saying, man, some of this is turning into romantic kind of connection, then you decide in the midst of that man, out of all these friends, I'm really starting to feel a romantic connection with, Erica. And that's when you get to observe Erica and say, man, is this a mutual thing? And then 2, as I'm observing her, is she embodying some of those non-negotiables that are healthy in my life? So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, well, cool. We're gonna touch on that a little more. Yo, we back. That was the interview with the homeboy BJ Thompson I done last week. You can definitely find that on YouTube on the whole interview. We go into a little bit more stuff. We talk about dating a little more, and then we also talk about marriage. But you can find that on YouTube under the Influence Radio. We got a lot of more stuff up there. We got more stuff up there, and we're constantly going to be adding stuff. So stick with us, ride with us. But anyway, we're going to jump back into this conversation on dating. D-Dub, I mean, you fresh in the building. You got any thoughts on what he said in that second part?
Yeah, I had a couple of thoughts.
Okay, well, be heard, sis. Be heard. The brothers are out there listening.
Well,
they want to hear your perspective. Their ears are open.
Yeah, well, as far as like the testing the waters statement that he made, I mean, you don't necessarily have to test all the waters. Like I said earlier, if you just be patient, be in the same vicinity, I think you'll be able to weed out any bad, flowers.
Being patient.
Yeah, just being patient, being around them, like.
Don't you end up in the friend zone though?
Right, by being patient. Yes.
No. Well,
yes.
It depends, because I mean, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be worried about, oh shit, how do I approach this person? You would just do it. Mm-hmm. But since that's the case, you need to be patient, and that I don't think that would put you in the friend zone though. Not if you make your intentions clear when that time does come around. If you want to be romantic, quote unquote,
I mean,
so specific person.
That's fair.
Wait. I'm tripping. Waiting patient for what?
I mean, as long like I said, I think I said this before. As long as the boundaries or the rules is actually a really horrible word, but that's the only thing that came to mind just now. Rules are set forth at the beginning, it's clear that I'm trying to pursue you from the beginning.
Is that clear though? And so now let's point back to last week. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but if you're patient and are around that person, then you won't have to cancel them out. Like they wouldn't even know that you're on their radar. You know what I mean? So
that's
it wouldn't even be.
Yeah. Then you in the friend zone.
He said something about asking her, "Do you have a chemical imbalance?" Like you wouldn't even get to that point if you just observe her thoroughly. Like
I don't think he said ask. He was like, just check it, but
you might not notice the chemical imbalance until you get into a relationship.
Well, okay, yeah.
She might be able to keep. She might be able to keep a lid on her craziness until after y'all get. I mean, come on, don't act like that thin line between love and hate don't exist. No, I'm playing.
Right, ask my husband. No, I'm just kidding.
See, we're gonna block that out already out the show.
Okay.
Nah, but yeah, so I mean, being patient. I mean, I don't know what's the end. I don't know how you stop yourself from getting in the friend zone because you're just wait long enough until you're in the friend zone. What's Facebook talking about?
Janelle's Bank said intentions need to be upfront.
Boom.
Did you say something similar to that? Intentions need to be up front, meaning
of course.
Right.
Okay, so what about this though? So what about this? What about this then? So then say you at church, you chilling, the new girl walk in, she ain't never been to y'all church before, you see her, you be like, oh dag, then you go up and say, yo, I'm saying, let's go out to dinner, yo.
What? You in church for the wrong reasons.
Right.
What you mean though?
I don't even know this person.
What you mean though? See, now let me. This a whole nother show. That's good. This conversation gonna carry on a little more because it just got more interesting. So, because my perspective also is, because there's a friend of ours, a mutual friend of Denise and ours, that checked me like earlier this week when I made a post about it, and they said, well, you're supposed to be at church for God and for Jesus. Of course you are. Of course. But if you're not supposed to be unequally yoked, then the only other way you're going to prevent that, is by looking at
within your
church. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
even people in the church,
let's be real.
Be patient and see if they bearing fruit or not. You can't just be like, oh, she's in church, let me go holler at her.
Let me go holler.
Well, but y'all just said you got to make your intentions clear. Yeah, that's true.
Not 5 seconds after you meet her, though.
Right, not after she walk in the church doors,
like,
bro.
who you find? Hey.
To me, I'm like, patience is gonna end you in the friend zone. You're gonna wait long enough,
that's not the case.
looking for signs, and next thing you know, y'all gonna be at the dinner table telling the waiter, yo, we gotta split this bill because I thought this was something, but she's just made it clear that we're friends. I got money for dessert though. So I'm saying, so that was my next question. So is that wrong then? That's actually what I was gonna ask you, D-Dub, because you wasn't here last week. We tried to get you in last week. Yes. Is he wrong? And be honest.
Yes.
What
He's
you?
definitely wrong. You asked me out to dinner, and then when I make my when I make it clear that I just want to be friends, you gonna make me pay for my own check? Oh, okay.
So
I might
that's
have
context
to,
again.
I'll have to remember that I'm a Christian.
It's
intentions.
I'm just saying,
you had to make that clear.
We
That's
assumed
true.
as well that he asked her.
That's true.
I don't know if he asked her.
That's true. Okay, they ain't just wind up at the restaurant at the same table.
Then why would he tell the waitress, oh, we're getting separate checks, if she asked him and it was already like...
Okay, so for me personally, I personally feel like, yes, we should get separate checks. But up front, intentions. If the statement that we are just friends should have been made
before we even got to
body
dinner.
language should have been made before we even got to the dinner table, right? But now once we at the dinner table and then it pops up, oh, we just friends, you know?
Okay, so now here's my...
I get the ticket this time.
Okay.
Next time you got me.
Okay, so the statement of
that's
we'll
what I
be
say.
friends came right before the check. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
At dinner, she made it known that they just friends. Why?
Okay, so whether he asked her or not to come to dinner, and I'm assuming he asked her, and she said, oh, I want to be friends, and then all of a sudden you making me pay for my dinner. Like, you should have never asked me to come out with you in the first place if you want to act all petty like that.
Well, you should have knew before. You should have knew when I said let's go to dinner that this was more than just...
Well, maybe she...
It's planned.
I was about to say maybe she wanted a free meal
exactly.
and was going to explain to him over the meal, like, hey, this steak is good and all, but, you know.
But we just friends. That's
I wouldn't
cool.
do that, but.
And then you can pay for it because we just friends. So that's what I wanted to get at. And so the other part was, you brought up an interesting statement, Carrillo. You said signs should have been read. So here is my thing, and I really believe this. This is really something that I think, and I know a lot of people may not agree, but this is why I always say, well, is it okay then for me to go out with one person this week and then another person next week and then another person next week? Because the truth is, nobody knows how to read signs until you done read signs. Until you done seen signs and seen the actions behind those signs. So no one never knows what a girl is meaning when she does this thing.
Yeah, right.
Until they do this thing and then later on express, hey, that's why I did it because such and such. But you don't know that until you run into that and actually get on the other side of that. So reading signs is either a two-way street or a no-way street, because she should have been, to me, she should have read the signs.
Maybe she read it during that dinner. She read them and she corrected the signs.
But at the end of the day, no man's gonna ask a woman to dinner and we just friends, and we just fixing to kick it, and he fixing to pay.
That's not true. That's not true.
Fixing to happen.
That's not true.
That's not.
I would.
Okay, but okay.
I would,
and I would too. But your conversation got to be bomb. We have to be friends. We have. I mean, it's. I don't. Yeah.
Right. We gotta be. I mean, we people like that.
I don't know.
Which I don't think those type of relationships work. But that's a different. That's a different story. That's a different.
Because somebody
segment.
catching feelings.
But seriously, real talk. I could take a friend out. I could. And not think nothing about it.
She has an opinion on that.
But like if a man asks a woman out, period, you should know you picking up the check because you're a man and I'm a lady.
Well, if that's the case, what if you get that type of dude that is never gonna ask you out, being that he know that, and we just friends? I gotta pick up the check every time. Are you gonna ask?
Oh, we're just friends, or is he trying to pursue me? Because if we're just friends, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I got your lunch next week, bro. What's up?" You know.
Oh, see, that's
but
okay.
if he's like trying to date her, he should know he coming out the pocket. I mean.
So listen, I'm gonna be real on another thing, and this probably might set me apart from another. This might set me apart from a lot of people, but I find like that sometimes women think that they're just the bomb, and so they just supposed to be treated extra. No, they just the same as we are. There should be some kind of mutuality in respect and in show of attention or affection or in the friendship, no matter what it is. There should be some mutualness. Women will cry about chivalry is dead, but I think half of them just really want you to be opening doors and paying for dinners, and they not have anything to give to that. They don't have anything to offer. So if we sit at the dinner table and I'm paying for you, I mean, I'm married, but I'm speaking as if I wasn't, but I'm paying for you. Mm-hmm. I'm paying for something. It ain't just because you're pretty. See, because if I say just right, well, okay, listen, okay, come on. This is under the influence, right? This is under the influence, but under the influence of the Lord. So you know, I'm not talking about outside the bounds of that. But if we sitting at the dinner table, I'm not just paying for you because you fine. And if you Christian, you shouldn't want to be looked at like that anyway. You should feel like I have something that I bring into the table, literally and metaphorically, meaning my conversation, my personality, the way the man is not paying for nothing. He not paying for you just because you're there, and he not paying for you just for your time. That's dumb. That's dumb. To me, that's dumb.
Some men are dumb.
Okay, so, right, exactly. But you know what though? And I'm gonna be honest again. And this is Kool-Aid being honest. I was dumb. I was that guy.
I think we all were.
I was that guy that would be giving and giving and giving and giving, and then looking for something in return, but then being aggravated when it didn't. Right, affirmation when it didn't, because I kept dumping in and not getting anything out. But the older I get, the more I learn is that hey, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. And some women out here will let you give.
Yeah, which is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not a woman, but I'll save my conversation on that. I'll save my conversation on that.
Yeah. So anyway, you know what? We got to jump into we definitely went over our time. Some good conversation on that
under the influence.
But if you got any comments though, we're going to jump into the playlist of Played Yourself. And it's the homie One Mic Music.
And
this go ahead.
Facebook Live, y'all, or anyone out there. Tell me what you think. Sure, I got some new submissions here coming in. We got quite a few of them actually. We're gonna play one and see exactly how it do. If y'all have any input, leave a comment. Go ahead and share the video to your team, to your friends. Yep. And let us know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's play it or played yourself.
You know how it go. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. And we're going to let y'all decide whether the song stays on the playlist and the Carrillo will keep it in a rotation or not. Right. But the song is called Definition of Trill. He'll play that, and then we'll come back in for a quick moment.
Solid Ground.
Solid Ground.
Yeah.
Is the name of the song?
Yep.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's actually Solid Ground. One Mic Music.
And I gotta find it now. You changed it up. I got it.
It's pretty solid to me.
And then when we come back, we'll take calls. So if anybody has any calls they want to make, they want to call, they want to say their piece, definitely hit us up. The number is 678-460-7565. Again, that's 478-460-7565. If you got any comments on the topic, go ahead, D-Dub. You want to say something?
You said 478. It's 678-460.
Thanks. See, D-Dub is D-Dub. You saved the day. And that's right. I'm sorry. It's 678-460-7565. Some of the Chinese restaurant was about to get a call. You're like, wait a minute. But yeah, if you got anything to say, any comments about the 2 little snippets from BJ about dating, anything you heard, definitely call. We'd love to hear from you. This is the song from One Mic Music. It's called Solid Ground. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. You're Under the Influence with Koolaid and Carrillo. Keep it locked.
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, yo. The thirst is real.
Fill up your cup, bruh. The thirst is real.
Golly. This is loud in this thing for real. Like it's late night talk radio. Saying on the soul train.
It's not late night.
I know it's still early. But yeah, so we back though. Shoes, we back. That last joint you heard was Eshawn. Big shout out to the homeboy David Robinson who requested that. That was Eshawn's song Pray off of his 2016 drop. But I can't remember the name of the album. You remember the name of the album?
The Passover.
The Passover. That's right. So big shout out to the homie
Eshawn.
Yep.
Salute.
Eshawn. We trying to get him on the show. You know what I'm saying? I tried to email him earlier this week, but I don't think the email went through. You know. But yeah, that's it. One mic. Shoes, if nobody, we'll vote in the room, and so then
we don't keep an eye on the comments. How about that?
We'll keep an eye on the comments. You trying to play it safe because you scared? Don't be scared, bro. Look, at the end of the day,
I like the track.
Okay, so I like
the track.
I give it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up.
D-Dub, did you like it or?
He gives it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, that's cool. Okay, so I think at the end of the day, what happened then on this thing, because so we do the whole playlist and play yourself because we don't want to we don't ever really want to have to tell these artists, sorry, bro, your music's not good enough for our show. So we try to put it on the fans. But then when the fans chicken out, then we as the show have to take responsibility to do what we don't want to do. And that's to decide whether the song makes it or it doesn't. This time we're lucky. We've been blessed because the song actually wasn't bad. So we can definitely put it in the playlist. But shoes, it's been a good show. It's been fast. It happened too quick. I'm sad it's over. Now that we got D-Dub, if D-Dub keeps coming, we might need a third hour.
I would love to come.
We might need an hour a person, huh?
Golly.
Now, you don't say an hour yourself. We just keep chopping it up. Yeah. Before we end the show, I do want to say, rise up.
Oh, I forgot.
ATL.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Shout out to my boy Teddy in the building, man. What's going on, Fresh?
Teddy Pendergrass?
Salute. Nah, man. Teddy Slocum.
Teddy Slocum. Is he a comedian?
There, man. Nah, man. He's a college student.
He a college student. Okay, well, big ups. Teddy Slocum. Where?
JSU.
Where is that?
It's in Alabama, man.
What does J stand for? Nah, for real. I'm
rise up. Rise up.
Well, will Teddy be rising up? Or will he be rolling? Or will he be rolling tide?
That's a diehard ATL man right there. Oh, okay. Salute to Fresh, man. What's going on, bro? Big ups.
Okay. So yeah, D-Dub, how you like the D-Dub?
Man, it was fun. I could probably talk all night, but you know.
Okay. You got that's true. That's true.
Same here. Got to get these kids in there.
So yeah, it's been a good show. We thank you guys for rocking out with us. Facebook, big shout out to Janelle who hung out with us through most of the show. I'm trying to think who else was in there. Jeremy Winters.
Shout out to Greg
Brock. Yeah. That's my coworker. Greg popped in. Appreciate it. My brother. That's messed up. Dre, I see you, boy. He's saying rising up. Yes, sir. We about to take it. I'm saying thank you, Andre. That you see, because I feel like you really will be rooting for us. See, so Denise gonna be rooting for us, but it's a sideways rooting. But so I appreciate that, Dre, for that support to rise up. Appreciated David Robinson for rocking with us. Sven earlier on in the show. His wife, Mother Granholm, though I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Mm-mm. Is it Granholm, D-Dub? Granholm. Okay, so I got it right. Big shout out to Mother Granholm. Elise. Well, okay. I mean, yeah, she seems so motherly. I just, that's wifey correcting me anyway. That's the life. That's the married life. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know more about that married life, I would point you to the YouTube channel where we have the full convo with BJ Thompson, and that's Under the Influence Radio. That's the channel for the YouTube. If you got any suggestions for the show, any comments, any questions, anything you would like us here talk about on the show, hit us up in our email at undertheinfluence414@gmail.com. Ain't nobody really hitting us up, so our email is really lonely. Please contact us. You know what I'm saying? Send us some shout outs via email. We'll take those. Or you can call a number, and the number is not connected to like a hotline, so you can leave us a message there and we'll get it. And that's 678-460-7565. Do they need to press 1? I always forget if they need to press 1.
Nah, they don't need to press 1. Just
call us. Hit us up at 678-460-7565. If you want to hear more of the show or more shows, past shows, you can also find us at iTunes. At Under the Influence Radio. And you'll see the sign there. You know, once you get there, you'll see our insignia, Under the Influence. And then you can find us also on Under the Influence on Facebook. Again, see the sign. You know what I'm saying? We coming out with shirts. We need to come out with some merchandise. We working on that. But until then, you have been Under the Influence with Koolaid and Carrillo.
Under the influence. Fill up your cup, y'all. The thirst is real.
Fill up your cup, bruh. The thirst is real.